Mr Speaker, I think it has been a good debate, and I'd like to pay tribute to members, not least the member for Dorset West, in terms of his innovation, and other members in the way in which they have engaged in this process. But let's be clear in all this. Every day I am more and more pleased that Scots voted overwhelmingly to remain in the EU. We could have walked away from all of this, washed our hands of it and said it was nothing to do with us. But we must engage, and we have done every single step of this sad, sorry process. Mr Speaker, there are no winners from this tragedy of epic proportions. This is a horror show. And this is all about us trying to make things less bad rather than better.
Absolutely.
But one thing that has come out of this is that this is a government that seems to be uniquely bad at minority government and uniquely bad at reaching out to other parties. And this process is forcing us to talk to each other in a more meaningful way. Now, the SNP did not vote for an EU referendum. We did not vote to trigger Article 50, and we can see why. I'm pro-European. It's a force for good that's made us wealthier, safer, greener and fairer. I'm somebody who has benefited from our membership, from freedom of movement, Erasmus and the privileges and rights that we have as European citizens. But we have to engage in what you, Mr Speaker, were right to call part of a process. So in terms of the first, can I first of all congratulate my honourable and learned friend, the member for Edinburgh South West, for her proposal. It is a responsible proposal. And frankly, I think anybody who is opposing this tonight is being irresponsible. No deal is a dangerous Brexit. It is a damaging Brexit. And for those who call it a clean Brexit, I say this. It is the messiest Brexit possible. But this is also the best option, the reason we will back it. It is the amendment to revoke Article 50 as the reset clause. And frankly, I'm astonished that the Labour Party haven't been able to support this tonight. Absolutely. And I have to say that disappointed is the least possible I can say on that. We're also in favour of a people's vote, and I'd like to support the member for Hove. And as somebody who wants to campaign to remain in the EU, I would look forward to doing so. Can I just make reference to the for the member for Grantham and Stamford and pay tribute to the way that he has engaged with us in this process. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that I want to remain in the EU, he wants to leave. We disagree profoundly on many issues, but the way in which he's tried to engage with us, I was very, very grateful for, and I know my honourable friends were very, very grateful for the way that he's conducted this as well. We'd like to see a referendum. I also think a long extension is the right way to take these things forward as well. But in particular reference to his reassurances around freedom of movement and the particular situation in which Scotland finds itself has been incredibly important to us, and I would like to acknowledge that. That's not a wholehearted endorsement, and as he rightly pointed out, there will be a time further down the line, hopefully, when there are amendments and other purposes to that as well. But, Mr Speaker, we can no longer be held hostage by a small band of Tory extremists on this. Now, this is not the end of the line today. This is not the end of the line. I would appeal that members support the motion in the name of my honourable friend, the member for Edinburgh South West. But in conclusion, we must find a way forward. We should rightly be debating poverty, climate change, austerity. Instead, we are focused on the least worst options and damage limitation. We shouldn't be doing that. And it's time for us to put this Brexit nightmare behind us.